You know what? Fall fishing is finally here, and I'm hoping that the fish are feeding aggressively. A lot of times during the fall, man, they feed really heavily, so fingers crossed today is one of those days. Regardless, I've got a bunch of different fall fishing baits with me today, and my goal is just to catch some fish. I believe it's mostly gonna be bass in here, but I'm told there's some pike as well, so fingers crossed we can catch one of those as well. Regardless, enough yipping and yapping, let's get right to it. Let's start casting and blasting. Okay, so I just started with this jerkbait. I'm gonna work it pretty aggressively. The water's extremely clear. This entire bank is just a big transition bank, and it leads back to the creek channel. My guess is that up near that creek is where there's gonna be a lot of feeding fish, just based on the fact that there's probably gonna be bait fish in that area. I think what's nice about the jerkbait is it definitely will catch bass, and I think you could catch that bonus pike as well. I'm gonna be honest with you, a jerkbait in the fall is somewhat new to me. I tend to fish jerkbaits predominantly in the spring, but I know a lot of people use jerkbaits in the fall and have luck. The water's so clear here, there's lots of wind, it just seems like something that would actually work pretty good. Man, those fall colors are pretty prominent today. Give it another week and the fall colors are gonna be awesome right here. This time of year, man, I feel like you are always battling the wind, but the other thing to remember is the wind is generally your best friend in the spring. So don't shy away from the wind. In fact, you really should chase the wind. It's not exactly fun for kayak fishermen, but that's part of the reason, there's a fish. That's part of the reason that I got a pedal drive kayak in the first place, is the fact that, this is a pretty small fish. I'm just glad we're on the board with the jerkbait, man. Oh my gosh, I caught two! I caught two! Can you believe this? Can you believe this? I've literally never done this before. This is the first time. Oh my gosh, I just literally caught two on this jerkbait. This is awesome. Well, how do you go about taking off two fish? These fish ate it at the exact same time. That's so crazy. Literally, I double hooked both of these fish. This is insanity. There we go. All right, dink number one released. Two fish, one cast. They were right on the front of a dock, but more importantly than that, they were kind of right on that break line. If you catch two dinks on one cast, does it count as one donk? You gotta say, oh, there he crushed it. Crushed it. I believe this is just one fish here, but he slapped the crap out of it, man. They're kind of eating it weird on the outside of his mouth, but they're eating it, and that's the good thing. All right, another little dink right there. But three fish, and we just got started, so I'm thinking it might be a decent day of fishing. Let's hope we can catch a couple beefcakes in the mix too. Well, I can show you what these fish are positioned in. That's some good green grass right there. I love this kind of grass right here. As much fun as I was having with the old jerkbait, I am gonna throw the lipless a little bit, just because it's a little bit easier to work in the kayak. There's lots of grass up shallow, so I'm basically just pulsing this above the grass. This is what they call a chrome sexy shad, and with today's sunlight and bluebird skies, it should be a perfect color. I really like bright chrome type colors when it's sunny out. I'm not really feeling the lipless crankbait right now. All right, jerkbait, we're going back to you, mister. I'm really liking this rod and reel. This is such a versatile rod and reel for me. It's a 6'10" medium heavy. I strung it up with 14-pound fluorocarbon. I've just become such a huge fan of it. I've thrown spinnerbaits, swim jigs, jerkbait. It really can handle so many different things. 1/16 ounce mule jig with a little green pumpkin swim bait on there. So I'm just gonna try to work the bottom a little bit on this point. I'm gonna cover down on this area. I'm gonna work it pretty good for the next 5 minutes. I'm gonna go to that corner, fish that corner a little bit. If there's a fish. All right, I knew this spot would pay off. I don't think it's all that big. No, it's definitely not. He's chunky though, he's chunky. Okay, I gotta make sure I remember where this fish was. Man, that water's cold. Look at how I got him though, right in the top lip. Perfect hook placement right there. He bit it just dead sticking. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Dead stick is a beautiful approach. I was just trying to talk about my game plan. My game plan is basically to fish this entire point thoroughly, and then I'm gonna fish that corner thoroughly, and then I'm gonna go back to the area where I caught a couple earlier, and I'm gonna fish more of the main lake thoroughly. Sometimes it's kind of hard to find that magic spot on a point. This is a pretty large point. There's a lot of area to cover. I just wish fall lasted longer. I really do love fall fishing, but it just feels like it goes so fast. There he is, right where he was supposed to be. Just a little dink, but I tell you what, this lake has a lot of smaller fish. I'm totally okay with it. I welcome this dink. Man, these fish are cold though. I gotta release him right away, get back in there before my kayak drifts up on top of the point again. Another one. Oh my gosh, that was the dinkiest little dink ever. That was like a little 8-incher. Hard thing is just maintaining position out here, man. It's really tough in a kayak. I haven't rigged up my anchor trolley system on this one just yet. I'll probably do that soon. All right, turned off the camera and immediately got a bite. I think I'm back in a good position now, so I need to hurry up and release this little guy. Who is jet skiing right now? It's fall. My arch enemy's still here and it's fall. Is that a fish? Oh, it's a dink. I couldn't even tell if it was a fish, man. This is the dinkiest bass on the jerkbait yet. Well, I tell you what, today's a day of dinks, but I'm okay with it. I don't care. It's a work day, and the fact that I'm even out here is a blessing. Quick little update. I tell you what, I'm having a blast out here. Despite the fact that all I'm catching is bass about that long, it's been a fun day. I trust the process. I trust that if I keep doing what I'm doing, I might just run into a big one. This lake is notorious for small fish, but I just can't help but believe there's gotta be some quality in here. Regardless, the bait of the day so far is both the Ned rig and then the jerkbait. I gotta say, I love jerkbait fishing, but I'm usually more of a springtime jerkbait guy. But I guess today proves that a jerkbait can be good in the fall as well. If we only catch dinks for the rest of the day, I'm okay with that. Why? Because I am the Dinkmaster, man. I am the Dinkmaster. Let's get back to it. There's a fish. Is it another dink? It's probably another dink. Oh my gosh. It is the Dink Fest today. Wait, I just thought of something that my friend Bo said. This is a dinky winky. I really like that phrase. I had never used the phrase dinky winky before, but I'm a big fan of it, so shout out to my friend Bo. I believe his channel name is Kayak Outbreak. You can check him out. But yeah, this is a dinky winky. Today we have caught all sorts of dinky winkies. We represent the Lollipop Guild. The Lollipop Guild. The last couple of days I've had a bit of a head cold. It's just nice to be outside, man. I swear. I hate being sick in general. I'm thankful that all it was a head cold. In today's age, there's plenty of other stuff that you don't want. Even so, I was tired and I just didn't feel like doing anything. I'm glad I am over it now. I even ran 5 miles yesterday while I still had a bit of a head cold, and I'm quite impressed with myself. Sometimes you just gotta exercise it off, you know? That's kind of like, I just get so restless when I'm like sick. I just sit there inside and all I wanna do is be outside, but I don't have the energy to do anything. And I know that the best thing to do is just to relax. And today I'm like, screw that. I've got the energy. We're going fishing, baby. There's some leftover chicken noodle soup in the fridge, which I'm super stoked about. There's a fish. Yes. I was really hoping for another one before I went in. Is it big? No, but I tell you what, it's another dink and I'm okay with it. I just think there's no big fish in this lake. Just an absolute beast right here. You know, that's all I catch is giants like this. I did not think there was this many boats on the water today, but they're just showing up. Is that another fish? Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh my gosh, guys, an absolute giant. Look at this absolute toadzilla. Okay, I tell you what, this is an excellent fish to end on. Every single time I come to this lake, I come here with the same blind optimism that I'm going to catch a big fish. Nope. It's always small fish. But I tell you what, I'm not gonna give up on this lake because I trust the process. I trust that there are big fish in here, and I trust that if I keep coming back, I'll crack into one. Regardless, the good news is today was a work day. I got out, I caught some bass, and I'm a happy camper. The other thing is I built up some confidence in a jerkbait in the fall. I tend to be more of a springtime jerkbait guy, but I've always heard that they work in the fall, so I'm glad I tried it. I definitely built up some confidence, and I trust that I'll be using it more in the future. Regardless, I'm gonna go heat up some leftover chicken noodle soup, and I'm gonna eat it, and it's gonna be awesome. We'll catch you next time.